Praise the Lord. I'm Minister Tony, and this is today's morning. We're going to be reading out of 1 Samuel chapter 17, and we're going to be reading verse 40. And he took his staff in his hand and chose for himself 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and he put them in his shepherd's bag, even in a pouch. And his sling was in his hand, and then he drew to the Philistine. This verse is talking about David, how after he was going to go face the Philistine, Saul had put on his armor and his sword, but it didn't fit David because it might have been the right tools for the war that for the battle he was about to face, but they didn't fit him. And the right tools for the wrong person doesn't benefit anybody. But there was a good tool that he had that he was used to, that he had tested, and that was his sling. So now he needs some ammo to go after this Goliath. So he chooses 5 stones from the brook and puts them in his pouch. I find it interesting that David chose 5 stones, and I got to thinking, and I went to look up why 5. And in the Bible, 5 is the number of grace, goodness, and favor. It's God's grace and goodness and favor that he used while he was using the same skill and ability that he had. So he trusted in the fact that he knew how to use a slingshot. I'm not sure he ever thought about, well, I was going to use this to defeat a giant of a man. But within what he's done, within what he's honed throughout the years of being on the other side in the field with his father's flock, God was going to bless that. But he needed God's grace, favor, and his mercy. And so he chose as a symbolic nature the 5 stones. Now he only needed 1 stone because God used 1 stone to take down Goliath. But even in our own lives, there's many things that we do in our everyday life that we can learn, that we can build a skill on, that we have a passion for, that we're good at. And we may not think anything about it, but if we rely on God's grace, his goodness, and his mercy, and the thing that we do, he can do wonderful things with what we already do, with the things that we are already driven for, and the things that we have tested out. He didn't make David go use a sword he wasn't ready to use, or a spear he wasn't ready to use, or armor that didn't fit him. He used what David had done in his past to bring himself glory through defeating Goliath, a big giant of a man, but it was for the glory of God. And David submitted the thing that he did the best, which was sling stones, and he used that for God's glory. I just want to encourage you to take the steps of faith, to submit everything that you have to God, even the things that might just seem like something that you do very well. Maybe it's math, maybe it's woodworking or something like that, and use it for the glory of God. For God is building you in these things for a purpose and for a plan that he has. And you may not know it now, you'll probably know it later, but there is a plan and a purpose for it. So I just want you to submit everything that you have to God, and he will bring it to pass when it needs to come. He will give you the grace, the goodness, and the favor, especially when you give it to him. I bless you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. God bless you.